Good morning. So welcome to today. Good morning, Shalona. How are you?
Good morning, sister. Well, thanks, and you?
Good. So are you ready for your next pose?
Definitely. Today is Humble Warrior, and we have associated humility to it. So we're good to go.
Good. Great for it.
So with Humble Warrior, take your feet nice and wide. Turn the right foot out completely, the back foot at a slight angle. Take the hands to the back, interlace the fingers, and very gently bring your head forward as low as you can possibly go. Just hold for a few moments. Very gently now, come up to standing, nice and easy, nice and slow. I turn the other foot out completely. Back foot at a slight angle. Get into the low lunge, hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. And once again, take the head as low as you can possibly go. Try and be as steady as you possibly can in the pose. Focus on the breath. And very gently now, release the hands. Come up, straighten the knees, walk the feet in. And thank you very much. So that was Humble Warrior. So the Humble Warrior, like all other warrior poses, teaches us that we have a purpose in life. And as you can see, the position of the head is quite low, which can be relaxing. And at the same time, it's very strenuous on the lower body. So from around the mid-back going down, it's very strenuous. It's sort of a contradiction. And so I associate the warrior pose with the humble warrior with humility. Because of that, sometimes people misconstrued humility as a weakness, but humility is really a very strong virtue to have. You have to have that strength to be one that's humble. So the best way to explain it is, I've read something a few days ago, so I'm going to read it out to you. And it's going to explain to, I think this best sums up the humble pose. So humility is knowing your worthiness and unique purpose, but also acknowledging that all people have the same worth. The humble warrior knows his or her worth and purpose, and it moves forward towards their goal with focus, power, and passion, all while honoring the unique and equal parts of others. So how often do we as humble warriors really honor the unique and equal parts of others? I don't think it's very often. I think there are points in our lives where expectation takes over. I know for me personally, when it comes to my children especially, I have this expectation. And I think as a humble warrior now, I need to step back and allow them their unique parts and purposes. So for me, that is humble warrior. And when doing this pose, and researching this pose as well, it allowed me to really do a deep reflection of myself. And you'd be amazed. Once you start practicing humble warrior and you get into that meditative pose or the meditative position where you're focusing on your breath rather than the body, the insights that you will get. So yes, humble warrior is an awesome pose, but it's sort of like a contradiction as well, because on one side, depending on which part of the body you're looking at, it's relaxing, and on the other side, it's quite strenuous. So yes, humble warrior.
You know, I thought today, let me also just try it out before we kind of get into it. And because it's a bit of an inversion as well,
Yes.
all the sort of blood flows to your head, and then you kind of feel a little bit dizzy. And, I was thinking that, humility is like that. It's a little bit of a dizzy thing, because when we try and go against the way people are treating us and all of it, and, we don't get affected by it, then people think, what's wrong with you? Because, the normal reaction of ego is to be defensive and to actually protect oneself in that way. So I like the idea that the humble warrior is one who doesn't give in, doesn't let go of the inner positioning and who they really are, but they're able to actually forfeit any limited attainments. So it's like a kind of nice way of understanding that in this world, we need to choose which battles to fight. Yeah. Especially if I'm clear what my inner purpose is and my inner journey is, then if I align the attainment of my inner being, and I see that, look, this kind of stuff is not going to serve me. I might look bad in the eyes of everyone, but it's not going to serve me to be a coward or to kind of lie or to kind of be dishonest. So I kind of then bring myself to that point where I humble myself to sort of confess whatever I need to do and face the repercussions of being not as people perceive you to be, but you remain true to yourself. And as you do that, remember, people will come and go in our lives. There's like, we are on this unlimited train of life, and people come in our compartment and they leave the compartment, and then our journey continues. And so if we please the person temporary who is in our compartment for that moment, and when they leave, part of me will also go away, because I actually gave up who I am to them. And if I realize that my commitment is really to me, then it just doesn't matter who is in front of me. It also means it gives other people a chance to have a closer look at who you really are, rather than just being a copy, or like when we try and follow somebody, we almost become like little clowns. We're doing something we're not. So I like this. It is very powerful to be able to stay within my self-respect and stay true to my own values. But I can be able to forfeit any image created by anybody, but stay true to my real self. And I think that will make us much stronger people. So, today, the card that, let me just read that fast quickly. And I thought from that positioning, we can also see that humility, with my focus and attention inward, I can express myself with humility. So it is the inner gaze. This practice of looking inward keeps me balanced. I am not hijacked by false pride, builds and strengthens my self-worth, and then allows me to be tolerant and accommodating. And I think that's also something very beautiful, that with humility, you do get this deep experience of tolerance. So I was lucky enough today, I had a conversation with somebody very early this morning, and they asked me, if you have a parent that's very controlling and they keep correcting you and they keep telling you this, that, and the other, how do you deal with it?
How would I deal with it as a parent?
They constantly correcting you, right? But it's your parent. So obviously, I know you said that you're a controlling parent, but I'm thinking the other way around.
Okay.
Like a child.
So my youngest daughter, Riyanka, she teaches me many, many lessons. And she is, she's very strong-willed. And many times I want to control her, really, because she's like all over the place. So from a parent's perspective, I understand that. But from a child's perspective, because my mom was also like that, as a child, you don't really understand. It's like you are right, and you don't see the wisdom behind what your parents say. So as a child with a controlling mom, how did I handle that situation? To be quite honest, most of the time I just kept quiet. Because I grew up at a time where if you didn't keep quiet, you probably felt some warmth on your cheeks. So, it was best to keep quiet. But I guess nowadays, when I look at kids, your approach has to be different because times have changed so much. And with a child, I wouldn't know really. Okay, in this day and age, if I was a youngster and I had my mom, I think instead of being loud and argumentative, I think the best way to do it is to actually, if you're going to address a situation or a problem, wait for you as an individual to be calm. Allow those negative emotions to just subside a bit before you tackle the issue. Because often in our anger and in our frustration, we say the wrong things and do the wrong things. And often it can't be undone. We have already hurt the person. And I remember once I heard the story where I think it was you, Sister Usha, that actually told it to Ria. Where there was his father and a son, and the father told the son that every time he gets angry, he should knock a nail on the wall. And so he continued doing that. Eventually, the wall was full, and the father told him to remove the nails. And when he looked at it, this wall was literally all holes. And the father explained to him that that's what you do to a person. So I think get over the emotion and then tackle the issue. And I'm sure with the parent and the child with a calm head, you can actually address the issue more fruitfully. And you will definitely find a solution, or you will come to an understanding. The parent will understand the child, and the child will understand the parent. Yes.
And another thing is that, if you look at it in that sort of context, it's when something is coming in my face, even if somebody is being controlling, obviously it's a lesson, I can understand that either I'm a little bit of a don't have enough confidence, so I'm giving people permission to bully me if the controller is really just a bully. So to be able to understand that, any parent, and I think what they're motivated by is that if they see the child not really responding, they want to push. So the method of pushing can be various, either making you feel bad, whatever people know they use as a tool to kind of make you feel, or push you in a sense. So the thought that came to me is that when I have this nature in me where I don't feel good enough, I'm going to actually give other people the permission. So my message to the child would be is that if your parent is doing that to you, check inside of yourself that are you living true to your own purpose? Are you really feeling good about yourself, or do you need your parent to tell you that you are okay? And so it's like we need to take our power back and listen to the person who's correcting you as a messenger, because they can see from the outside better than I can see from the inside, and ask myself, what they're correcting me in, is it something I can still change and improve on? So don't just have a deaf ear and walk away, but have enough self-respect to say if this was an exam and they were testing me and they put a cross against this, why did they put the cross? So can I check which steps brought me to the fact that my answer was incorrect? And I like that, because that's where the power of humility comes in, is that you can actually go inside and revisit what is actually happening without putting any blame or guilt or whatever. It takes a big person to say, I'm sorry. So the mistake is one thing. But if you hide the mistake, you actually, it's like taking the wound and just covering it up and will fester on the inside. But to actually expose the wound and bring healing to it is actually where the greatness lies. So it's very powerful in a sense that humility gives us an opportunity to kind of solve problems and address the problem. And very often the person who is humble will not actually have ego issues with other people. So, I'm kind of thinking, oh, you're very arrogant. It's not because you're humble that they're arrogant. It's because you are also operating from a level of ego, and your ego is clashing with the other person's ego. So when I'm humble, actually, I won't come across arrogant people. So it will never be that you're going to be walked over. You're not going to actually be taken advantage of, because a humble person is a great person.
True, very true.
Anyway, so
I guess as parents and as kids, the bottom line is you got to come to an understanding without the emotions attached to whatever it is that's going on. I think that's important. Yeah.
Okay, somebody is saying, Niri is saying, I think we should remove the word controlling. This is not the job of a parent. We give too much power to children and say they are so advanced that they have learned reverse psychology to get their way. But not all children are this way. Some understand. My opinion, you may or may not agree. Thanks. Yes, I also feel it's true, but I was just using that example because I think, Shalona, you said something about sometimes you can get controlling with your kids. So I thought I'd just use that word. I agree with you, Niri. It's true that we don't have to make anybody more powerful. I think in this world currently, nobody is with a very elevated consciousness. We all have a whole lot of things in us that has taken us away from our pure self. So I feel all of us, whether we're parents, whether we're children, whether we're observers, we're teachers, all of us are in a school where we're learning. And we're all trying to go back to our original stage. And so we're going to meet up with individuals that's carrying their baggage. And as far as I know, that everybody will try and make their life as comfortable as possible. So where they can use you, they will use you. And that's it. The point is, do I allow myself to be abused? So I don't have to worry who is there doing what. I just need to make sure that I got myself covered. And so this image of looking inward, checking yourself, using other people's behaviors as some kind of measure to see and just to check, not to compare, just to check, am I okay with this? Am I still on track with my inner qualities, and move on? Because we do need indicators now and then. Sometimes the journey is very long, and if we don't see a signpost, we might think we're on the wrong track. So lovely to have these little signposts on the way that kind of just give us a little bit of a warning or a reminder. Sometimes they also just reinforce. So that's also brilliant in a sense. Nothing is going to waste.
Yes, I agree 100% as well. Like with my daughter, the one I said I would like to have more control over. So she is, when I look at her, she actually reminds me of the things I need to work on. So we lock heads on different issues. Usually it's because I take away her phone because she's too busy on it or whatever it is. But then when that emotion of anger starts I would think that, I finally got over anger, or I finally got over frustration. But here comes Rianka with the phone. And then I realized after a while, I didn't overcome it. I still got a long way to go. So she is that test that comes up often. And I think every one of us has those tests where you have, like you said, those points or those markers that as we go on this journey, they come there and they remind you that you still have a long way to go, or you still haven't overcome a certain emotion or a certain issue, even like with fear, or whatever it may be. So we have that.
And I think if we treat it even like a teacher, the teacher is there to assist us. Okay, exam paper is a little bit like a test and a challenge, but the teacher is there to support us. So they are our teachers as well, which is so nice. And I think if our attitude is kind to ourselves, then I don't make myself into a victim. If I think, oh, this one's always doing this to me, then I become the victim. No, they're not doing anything to me. They're doing it for me to help me. And so my attitude to myself must be also benevolent. I think that's something very useful to kind of hold for ourselves. But anyway, that gives us a nice opportunity now to go inward and do a little meditation. So thank you, Shalona. And we keep seeing Arushka, and we never get to say hello to her, but thank you, Arushka, as well. All right.
Thank you, sister.
Okay, great. Let's go into our meditation. So let's take a moment and just relax. Hold this powerful image of ourselves that we are, or I am, this pure living being of light, a being that is eternal. And when I think about myself as being eternal, I become timeless, ageless, and remove any labels that I may attach to myself. When I think of eternal, I'm able to experience myself beyond, giving myself a space of being in the unlimited. And when there's no time holding me back, there's a deep experience of freedom. And in this awareness of freedom, I project myself out of this limited dimension of matter that is trapped in time and space, that is governed and controlled. And I go beyond, like I remove myself from this gravitational pull of the earth, and I soar into the unlimited space beyond the gravity of anything material. And I feel my true freedom, light, easy, floating in this silent space. I am completely relaxed, free from the demand of performing any actions. No responsibility. Everything that I need to be, I am. And in this next few moments, let me appreciate who I am. I am a being who is still, silent, peaceful. I am love, connected, united, close. I am love. as this being, I am absolutely pure, authentic, natural, no additives. I am uniquely me. I am happy, filled with all treasures and attainments. I am full, overflowing, a deep sense of celebration, of being full of all attainments. I am pure joy, that deep experience that I am balanced and complete. A satisfaction and contentment that allows me to be without having to express myself in any way, just to be that still, vibrant, contented being. I am wisdom. I know, I understand. And by knowing and understanding, I am full with clarity and openness. There is no dark shadows of ignorance. And so I have the courage to explore and expand. I am a being who is stable, steady, resilient. I have the power that allows me to be undisturbed. I am free from any support. I can stand and become a support for anyone. The power to be stable, consistent is my strength. As I recall my true identity, I feel a deep sense of abundance and fullness, and my heart is open to reach out, a generosity to give and to share. So today, I allow myself to become that fully laden tree and allow the branches of my heart, my mind, and my actions to reach out and offer the fruit of peace, love, happiness, joy, wisdom, and power. I keep that beautiful image of that powerful tree, full and overflowing, generously giving, an image of benevolence. It is the quality of humility that allows me to become benevolent without any conditionings. No reason, no rhyme. I just am. Om Shanti.